I'm honored today to be sitting with Miss Preethi Srinivasan. She is working for cow welfare in the USA and of course the rest of the world. She's written this book called The Sacred Bond, and she's doing so many incredible things. You know, words fall short to describe. So please tell us about cow welfare, you know, because that is one area which needs a lot of attention.
Sure. Thank you very much, Shivaliji, for giving this opportunity to have a presence in your channel. Really, I think you are very kind with your words. I honestly don't have that much knowledge, and what I'm doing is very little. But to your question about cow welfare, it's a very gray area, it seems like, and the execution about cow welfare, it seems to be very different from region to region, right? And in my travels, I am seeing things that is a no-no in one part of the country to like, hey, this is actually okay. It's acceptable per Vedic Shastras in a different part of the country, right? And so the need of the hour is to actually come together to define what those principles are, keeping in mind that the happiness, well-being of the animal is core to cow welfare, right? And especially in today's context, a lot of people are thinking about economically commercializing, right? They want to build a business around cows. Of course, the intentions could be to generate economy to take care of the cows, there's probably not, it is not completely for profit. But then one thing that can be overlooked very easily is cow welfare, and that's why it's important, right? Cows have their own needs, and we need to be respecting that, right? And they have their own personalities, and we need to be supporting that.
I actually wanted to do this interview outside with the cows, you know, because I've seen your videos where you're always with the cows, you know, in action, in so many Gaushalas in US. What's the core difference that you find in Indian Gaushalas and in American Gaushalas?
There is certainly a difference in terms of space and access, right? So some of the Gaushalas that I have been to in the US, they don't necessarily have like hundreds of animals, not yet. Some of the Gaushalas that I know are growing, right? And it's Govansh, so you can't necessarily stop it, right? And that's one thing that is a little bit surprising, because there are some Gaushalas in US that intentionally prevent Govansh from propagating, and the intention there is to actually build an infrastructure first, so that it is comfortable for the animals that are being born. And then there are Gaushalas that are in a relatively better setup financially, and in terms of the space availability and all of that, and they are okay with the population growing, right? But again, like I said earlier, the welfare principles are actually very, very different, not only in India but also outside of India. Now, when it comes to India, the Gaushalas are actually very restricted. Right, there's very small space. Of course, the Gaushala is adjacent to something like a pasture land, and so what happens is oftentimes cows from these Gaushalas are let go during the day, so they can go and graze and be outdoors. And then cows have a built-in GPS, right? So they know when to go, they know when to come back, right? By the end of the day, they are actually back in the Gaushala, and it's time for them to like eat, right? So it's like we are trying to make things work. But there is a long way to go.
Subscribe to Befriend Cows, that's her channel, and she's doing wonderful work. All of you must follow her, and I call her my soul sister, and I have so much to learn from her, because the way she interacts with the cows, you know, the bond that she's built, literally the sacred bond, you know. So I think it is innate in our nature to connect with cows, and we must work on that. Thank you so much for sharing your views today with us on cows.